Lock in, Retro Defenders! Welcome to the pixelated, nostalgia-charged chaos of Retro Tower Defense. Roblox's 8-bit throwback where units either blast enemy waves into glitchy oblivion or crash like a dial-up modem. Picture Mage slinging spells with arcade swagger, while Bloxxer trips over its own pixels in a laggy mess. I'm your coin-farming, tower-placing retro warrior who's misplaced more units than a newbie in Pixel Plains, laughed at my own Windforcer flops, and still chases Tycoon's game-breaking glory. We're ranking every unit from S-tier Pixel Legends to C-tier duds, packed with absurd arcade tales and pro tips to dominate story, PvP, and infinite mode, with that retro tower defense shine. Farm coins, summon your squad, and let's crank the retro vibes to 11. In Retro Tower Defense, units are your pixel-powered fighters, wielding nostalgic skills, magic, tech, explosives, and ground hill rolls to stop waves of 8-bit enemies. S-tier stars like Mage and Tycoon dominate with DPS or economy buffs, while C-tier Bloxxer barely holds a wave. Farm coins, 10,000 to 50,000 from Story Act 1, or upgrades from PvP wins, 5 to 10%. Check Discord or Trello for updates on new units or events. Whether you're a level 10 rookie clearing Pixel Plains or a pro smashing infinite mode, this tier list is your 8-bit arcade ticket. Let's dive into the C-tier flops and blast our way to S-tier supremacy. Let's start with the bottom of the pixel pile, where C-tier units fizzle like a CRT monitor on its last legs. These are for newbies with no coins, but enough heart to laugh at their own retro disasters. Time to kick things off with Windforcer, the wannabe warrior that swings hard but misses the mark. This unit charges into Pixel Plains with a bold stance, only to whiff its shots and crash like a bad ROM. In a story run, Windforcer tried to tank a wave but got overrun by basic mobs, turning the defense into a Windforcer wipeout. Its decent melee DPS holds early waves, but low range and high coin costs make it a struggle past level 10. Place it on ground for a faint spark, use it for level 5 to 15 clears, and swap it out before the waves get serious. Next up is Bloxxer, the blocky brawler that builds dreams but breaks under pressure. Picture Bloxxer stacking bricks to stop enemies, only to build a wall around itself by mistake. In a PvE wave, it threw punches but glitched out, making the run a Bloxxer blunder. Its tanky stats help early story, but slow attacks and no AoE tank its value. Place it on ground for a slight edge, use it for level 10 grinds, and ditch it fast before it lags your defense. Let's dive into the mid-tier arcade, where B-tier units bring some retro firepower but flicker like a poorly emulated cartridge. These are for coin farmers who grin at their own 8-bit missteps. First up, meet Poison, the toxic trickster that stings but doesn't slay. This unit slathers waves with venomous clouds, only to cough on its own fumes. In a PvP match, Poison slowed enemies but ran out of juice, turning the fight into a poison puff. Its DOT effects clear mid-game mobs, but low DPS and high coin costs limit its shine. Place it on hill for a boost, use it for level 20 to 30 clears, and re-roll for A-tier power. Next, let's chill with Freezer, the icy unit that freezes but doesn't finish. In an infinite mode run, Freezer iced a wave but slipped on its own frost, making the defense a Freezer fumble. Its crowd control slows mid-game enemies, but weak damage and high energy costs keep it B-tier. Place it on hill for synergy, use it for level 25 grinds, and trade for better units. Time to ignite with Flamer, the fiery unit that burns but doesn't blaze. In a story wave, Flamer torched mobs but singed its own circuits, turning the run into a Flamer flare-up. Its AoE fire damage clears mid-game, but high coin costs and poor scaling hurt. Place it on ground for a spark, use it for level 20 to 30 missions, and swap it out. Finally, let's shoot with Pistoler, the gunslinger that pops but doesn't pop off. In a PvP wave, Pistoler fired fast but jammed mid-fight, making the match a Pistoler misfire. Its ranged DPS helps mid-game, but low damage and no utility limit its value. Place it on hill for a boost, use it for level 25 clears, and re-roll for A-tier. Time to crank the volume, where A-tier units shine as Retro Tower Defense's wave-crushing stars. These are near S-tier, but held back by minor glitches, perfect for coin-rich defenders ready to flex. First off, meet Doombringer, the explosive unit that booms but doesn't break the game. In a story run, Doombringer launched a missile salvo but tripped on its own fuse, turning the wave into a Doombringer detonation. Its high AoE DPS shreds mid to late waves, but high coin costs need farming. Place it on ground for max damage, use it for level 30 to 40 clears, and keep blasting. Next, let's snipe with Hyper Laser Sniper, the long-range legend that picks off foes but reloads slow. In a PvP match, it nailed headshots but fumbled its laser, making the fight a Hyper Laser hiccup. Its precision DPS dominates mid to late game, but slow attack speed needs support. Place it on hill for a boost, use it for level 35 grinds, and aim true. Time to shine with Bloxxer, the flashy fighter that punches with style but stumbles. In an infinite mode run, it dazzled enemies but tripped on its gold chain, turning the wave into a Bloxxer bling bust. Its tanky melee DPS clears mid-game, but high energy costs hurt. Place it on ground for a spark, use it for level 30 to 40 missions, and keep swinging. Let's scope with Sniper, the sharpshooter that hits hard but hesitates. In a PvE wave, Sniper tagged enemies from afar but blinked mid-shot, making the run a sniper slip. Its long-range DPS shines in late game, but moderate armor needs backup. Place it on hill for synergy, use it for level 35 clears, and stay locked on. Finally, let's splash with Paintballer, the colorful unit that splatters but doesn't dominate. In a PvP wave, it painted foes but smeared itself, turning the fight into a paintballer mess. Its AoE crowd control aids late game, but high coin costs limit early use. Place it on hill for a boost, use it for level 30 to 40 grinds, and keep splattering. Now, let's unleash the 8-bit gods, where S-tier units reign as Retro Tower Defense's ultimate wave destroyers. These are for pros who want to flex and leave enemies in a pixelated pile. First off, meet Mage, the spell-slinging sorcerer that blasts waves with arcane chaos. In an infinite mode run, Mage fired magic bolts but set its own robe ablaze, turning the wave into a Mage magic show. Its insane AoE DPS clears any mode, but its coin cost demands heavy grinding. Place it on hill for maximum damage, use it for all modes, and cast victory. Next, let's vibe with Noli, the quirky unit that dances through waves with retro flair. In a PvP match, Noli grooved past enemies but tripped on a pixel, making the fight a Noli nostalgia trip. Its high DPS and mobility shred waves, but low armor needs careful placement. Place it on ground for a boost, use it for level 40 plus content, and keep dancing. Time to assist with HelperBot, the techie unit that buffs like a pro but glitches occasionally. In a story run, it boosted allies but short-circuited, turning the wave into a HelperBot hiccup. Its support buffs and decent DPS dominate late game, but high energy costs need planning. Place it on hill for synergy, use it for level 45 clears, and keep the team strong. Let's cash in with Tycoon, the economy unit that prints coins but overspends. In a PvE wave, Tycoon flooded my wallet but built a useless turret, making the run a Tycoon treasure trove. Its coin generation breaks the meta, but high placement costs need strategy. Place it on ground for a spark, use it for all modes, and fund your army. Finally, let's launch with Rocket, the explosive unit that obliterates waves but smokes itself. In an infinite mode run, Rocket fired missiles but singed its own fins, turning the wave into a rocket rampage. Its massive AoE DPS rules all modes, but slow reloads need support. Place it on hill for a boost, use it for level 40 plus content, and blast the meta. The pixels fade, defenders, and your Retro Tower defense journey shines brighter than a Mage's arcane blast. From Tycoon's coin-dropping glory to Bloxxer's 8-bit blunders, you've got the ultimate unit tier list to conquer story, PvP, and infinite mode. S-tier legends like Rocket and HelperBot rule the meta, while C-tier duds like Windforcer keep your grind full of laughs. Whether you're a rookie clearing pixel planes or a pro smashing level 50 waves, this list is your 8-bit arcade ticket. Mix Mage with Rocket for a DPS explosion beast, or Tycoon with Noli for a coin mobility combo. Farm those coins, haunt Trello for updates, and forge your Retro Tower defense legacy. Drop your slickest wave clears or funniest unit flops in the comments. Let's fuel the retro frenzy. Smash that like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Roblox chaos. Blast now.